Hey guys, it's Naughty Couture, and today I just wanted to talk about something maybe a lot of people aren't comfortable with talking about, but I'm going to talk about it because I feel like some people feel like they're alone, and I want them to know that they are not. When I was 8 years old, I was molested by a family member's spouse, and I was scared. I was terrified. Like, nobody really knows unless they're in that moment that I was in. I was just sitting there and I didn't know what to do. Like, I just froze, I guess. And I was so scared that I froze and I cried. But it was like a silent cry, and you seen tears come out of my eyes. You know it's got me about to cry right now just thinking about it. But if you could see me in that moment, I had so much fear in my eyes because gosh, what that does to a kid, man. And I could remember just looking at my cousin, and she was just a baby, and I was just looking at her. She didn't know what was going on. She weren't old enough to understand. And there went the tears, and I was crying. And I was so in fear. And when he finally stopped, I ran. I ran home and I never turned back. I never went back. And my mom, started noticing, and she was like, "Why don't you want to go?" I was like, "I just don't want to go over there." Because I felt like if I talked about it, nobody would believe me. That's how I felt. So I was like, I'm not going to say anything. Because I was so scared. And then, like, a year later, well, I'm not even going to say any names. But somebody else came forward talking about they touched them too. So it made me feel comfortable to actually come out and say that, I went through the same thing. And I was a lot younger than the other ones. So, everybody in my family believed me, but, well, not everyone because, it was a family member's spouse, like I said. So they, of course, did not believe me, but like my mom and my brothers and sisters, they believed me. And, the people on his side did not believe me at all. They couldn't even believe that he'd do that. So we just didn't, they didn't do anything about it. So I had to choose to just ignore him for the rest of my life. And it's not hard. It wasn't hard for me because I was already doing it before I even said anything. But what they don't know that does to a kid, well, studies say that if a woman was molested or, raped when she was younger, that she'd grow up to hate men, or she'd become lesbian, or she'd become a prostitute. And I am none of those things. I don't hate men. I love my brothers and they are men. I love my boyfriend and he's a man. But that's now. Because at first, I didn't feel comfortable with people touching me. I didn't like hugging people. I couldn't even, like, it didn't matter if a boy was my cousin or what. If we were in a room alone together, I would just leave because I did not feel comfortable being around any guy in a room by myself anymore. And it's just overwhelming just talking about it. So I tried to just stay away from guys, especially older people. Like, I wouldn't even want to be around older people. Only people I trusted myself around was other kids my age. And then when I got to around 10, I had got molested again. And this time it was someone who was a few years older than me and that I trusted and I thought was my friend. And like I said, I couldn't trust nobody. And that just made it even worse because I actually tried to trust someone. But my brother did handle that. He handled that right there. And I thank him for that. But it just paralyzed me in fear. I didn't want, at that moment on, I did not even want to talk to a boy. I didn't want to hug one or hold hands with anybody or anything like that. And I guess that's what made me not relationship material. And I didn't get a boyfriend until I was 17. And he's my real boyfriend, and I'm still with him. And he's the first guy since then that I actually trust myself to be around, and I actually feel comfortable around him. And I'm so thankful that I did not follow the path of, just hating men or wanting to be a prostitute or anything like that. Because I chose to just try and move on, in which I did. I tried not to think about what happened to me, Like, I feel so bad, that it happened to me because it's happened to many people, or it's happened to it's happened to many people. And it's still happening, And I just want to be able to, I don't know if we can exactly prevent it because people are people. People are mentally just messed up. And we can't vouch for those people. We just have to choose to ignore those people until the consequences are dealt with, And sometimes I get to days where I don't want to be touched and stuff like that. That's what comes with that. Some days you feel like that. Some days you feel very, very uncomfortable around anybody, Because I do. Sometimes I feel uncomfortable around, friends, family. Sometimes I just feel uncomfortable. And it's not anything to do with them. It's just to deal with myself. Sometimes I just get claustrophobic. Someone's too close to me. I kind of freak out and I get like this. And I don't like getting like that. So I try to calm myself down. But I feel like this is what, people should be more outspoken about. I feel like people shouldn't hide. I know you're ashamed that you got molested, but that is not your fault. It is not your fault that you got molested. It is not your fault you got raped. It is not your fault at all. It's the sick bastard's fault. It's not yours. You're innocent. I was innocent. I am innocent. You're innocent. And I just felt like I needed to talk about that today. So I want to thank you for watching this video. And you should upload a video yourself of talking about it. If you know anybody that's been through it, I figured coping with it, I had to cope with a whole different way, to keep myself straight. But any way you cope with it, you could help somebody. We could help somebody. We could help people come together and have a voice. We could do that. So I want to thank you for watching this video. This was Naughty Katori, and please don't be afraid.